I am so excited to have Brenda, a diabetes expert, with us on this important Women's Day celebration. So, she is going to impart such incredible information. So, I want everyone to listen and realize that this is a recording. And why she wanted to do that is so that you could come back, stop it, and go again. All right. So you recently wrote about magnesium and blood sugar. What made you focus on that topic?
Well, a lot of, oh, by the way, thank you, Cindy,
You're
for that
welcome.
wonderful introduction. Um, a lot of diabetics don't know that the magnesium is so important for them to have to work on their blood. It works on their blood sugar because it's a cofactor. Magnesium does over 300 enzymatic processes. That's a lot. And you need them for health and for all these processes to work. And I thought this is a good time for me to make this clear to a lot of those that are diabetic so that they can include it in their diet, their supplementation, their food, etc., so that they can it helps them to lower their blood sugars.
So I garden a lot, and I know that a lot of the trace elements that have been in the soil over time that human beings really need, it has been depleted in the soil.
Absolutely.
So why do you believe that magnesium doesn't get as much as attention as it deserves in metabolic health conversations?
Well, the most common method that is used, by the doctors when they do any blood work is when they ask for a serum or blood test, right? And the thing is, magnesium, there's only 1%, less than 1% of magnesium that's in the blood. Magnesium is in the stored in the bones and in the soft tissue. So actually, that blood work is it doesn't give you the right kind of results, right? So, uh, and the other thing is, um, so many patients, so it comes out as normal.
Mm.
A client goes with all these symptoms, and the doctor does all this blood, has all this blood work done. It comes out as normal. So the doctor thinks, oh, well, you're okay with your magnesium, right? And it's very difficult to detect if you don't have enough of magnesium with the early signs or the symptoms that one has. They look just like um, other diseases. Oh, I have, I don't sleep well, I have cramps. It could be so many things, right? So when they
So
said, yeah,
you're saying that the symptoms are very generalized
very
and you can't get
generalized.
a good diagnosis.
Right. And that is in the early stages. Even in the advanced stages, it still looks like a lot of other diseases, right?
Uh,
So they can have cramps or tremors, the same thing, not sleeping well, I lost my appetite. Well, it could be diabetes, it could be high blood pressure. So we don't know. It's not, oh, it could be magnesium
mhm,
deficiency, right?
mhm.
Yeah.
So how common is magnesium deficiency, especially among people with type 2 diabetes?
Believe it or not, it's very high. It's 48, 50% or more.
Whoa.
So, and the reason for this is because people, when they're diabetic, they urinate more, right? Because their glucose is high. And every time they do that, they are losing the not just magnesium, but a lot of the electrolytes in the urine. So if you're going to urinate more, you're going to lose it. Yeah, so electrolyte, one day I'd like to talk about hydration, by the way, because it's got to do, you get dehydrated, and not only that, but then you've lost magnesium, potassium, calcium, and so on as
Yeah.
well. Okay. Yeah.
So, how exactly does magnesium affect insulin function? I'm not sure of the process.
Yeah. So first and foremost, one of the things, because I said, remember, it does so many things. One of the things it does is that it tells, so let me go back here. You eat food, it gets digested, it gets absorbed into all the nutrients, and the sugar, glucose goes into the bloodstream. As soon as the body knows there's sugar in the bloodstream, it activates insulin from the pancreas. The insulin is needed to put the sugar into the cells.
Right.
Well, here's the thing. Most of us don't realize that we need magnesium. It's a cofactor. It helps for the magnesium, for the sugar, the glucose to go into the cells. So firstly, it helps the cells to heal properly. So it transports glucose easily into the muscles and the fat cells. And then the third thing that it does is it helps to lower systemic inflammation, which
Mhm.
is known to contribute to insulin resistance. So it's very important.
So, could you define insulin resistance for me?
Yeah, it's actually when the cells, if you're having a lot of food, like carbs, I'm not saying you can't have enough, that you can't have any. Of course you can, but I don't know if you realize, or most people don't realize, that carbs are not an essential. Is not essential. The word essential means that the body actually, the body magnesium is not essential, meaning it cannot be made by the body. You have to get it from the diet. And
Okay.
carbs, actually, the body doesn't need carbs, because the body can use protein, excess protein, and breaks it down and makes it into glucose.
So,
So
you're
what
saying,
happens is, yeah, when you're low in magnesium, because it's involved in so many 300 enzymatic reactions in the body, your
Mhm.
heart, your muscles, your brain, your bones, your nervous system all run on magnesium. So when you were asking me about insulin resistance, so when the food goes in there, and the glucose, the insulin is shoved into the cells. But what happens when you have a diet of a lot of carbs? The body is constantly making insulin. Eventually, over a long period of time, the cells say, I've got too much glucose. I don't want any more. So now
Mhm.
the body has to find another way of getting rid of that glucose in the bloodstream. Because do you know what, Cindy? The bloodstream is only supposed to have 1 teaspoon of glucose in this whole system. 1 teaspoon. Anything after that is sent into the cells, and the cells use it and make it into energy. And any extra sugar that's in the bloodstream is It's converted into glycogen, which is stored energy. It not like when you would put something in the fridge, not immediate use, but for tomorrow. And then when you have even more sugar, then it's shoved into the fat cells. So you have immediate uh, use for tomorrow, and then long term. That's how you get fat. So this
Mhm.
is what happens. And that's what's called insulin resistance.
Okay. So a lot of obese people in
Yes,
America,
yes,
right?
yes.
Over the years, we've got more obese.
And this is the
And
reason why. Okay.
okay, all
Yeah.
right.
Now,
Well,
the
thank you
one thing
for
I must say for people that are overweight, that's the same thing. It doesn't mean that if you're overweight, that you are diabetic, but you're on the way, most likely, because
Mhm.
it takes this process, Cindy. Here's the one thing I'd like people to take away. This process takes a long time for it to become um, fat. Takes a long time, and people don't know their insulin resistance because of this compensation method that the body uses, right? Because
Mhm.
when they prick their finger and test for the glucose, it's normal. It's normal because the body is taking all that extra glucose and stored it into glycogen and fat, and even visceral fat. We won't go into that, okay? But yeah.
Okay. So, what happens in the body when someone is low in magnesium?
Well, the bodies cannot make these processes, right? And so many of them. So you get depleted. And I'm focusing mainly on diabetes here because high blood sugar and high insulin levels can increase, as I said, the loss of magnesium through urine. And so this creates a negative
Feedback loop.
feedback loop, right?
Mhm.
You have not enough of magnesium, because you're putting it out through the urine. Because of that, now you've got less magnesium, so you're going to get further loss, more loss of magnesium, and that contributes to insulin resistance. So back again, you have insulin resistant, you're losing all that, and so on, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like magnesium deficiency can make insulin resistance worse. Is that
Right,
correct?
right, right. It
Okay.
contributes to it for sure.
Okay. Now, is it true that nearly half the people with type 2 diabetes maybe because I know you said there was like 40 or 50 or 60%.
Yeah.
So is that sounds like half of the people that have type 2 diabetes
Huge, huge.
can be
I should
deficient.
have found what the statistics are about how many there are in the world, and it's mind-boggling, and it's just going up and up. It's a pandemic. It literally is. Uh,
Why do
so
you say that?
because globally, this is
Uh-huh.
what's happening. There are millions of people that have got diabetes, type 2 diabetes. And
And that wasn't true before?
oh, it is. It has been for a long, long time. But here's the thing, because of the medication, people think, oh, I'm okay. It is helping, but it's like a band-aid.
Mm,
The whole point of this is understanding how to stop the medication. Because what happens very often, it's not enough. Because of this loop that's happening, is the insulin levels are always high, always high. And if you have too much insulin, it's affecting the whole system. So you want
right.
to get rid of that. You want to bring it down, 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 till eventually you don't have it. It can
So
be done.
I think there are glucose monitors. Is that correct? That you can
Yes,
easily put
continuous.
on now?
Yeah. and that'll tell you. That helps, but you
Mhm.
have to make the change.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not just knowledge. We actually have to do
Do
something.
that. Yes, exactly. And you were so right about the soil depletion. So one of the reasons, some of the reasons why we don't have enough of magnesium, besides this is generally, is because our soil is depleted
Yeah,
of all these minerals. So the uptake by the plants is not there. So when we
right.
eat them, whether it's plant food or meat, the cows eat them, right? It's
Yeah,
not in the food.
yes,
It's down. It's
yeah.
already. Yeah.
So what are the signs of deficiency?
And there are many, many signs. So some of them would be things like fatigue and tremors and cramps, loss of appetite. It just goes on and on. And then later on, it becomes, you can get numbness, tingling in your fingers and toes.
Mm,
You can even get seizures, abnormal heart rhythm, arrhythmia. Yeah. It's can also be linked to chronic diarrhea. Can you see there are other things, but can you see um, how pervasive these symptoms are with also other diseases? So it
mhm.
is really important to find out if you're magnesium deficient.
Okay. So what, even though the soil is depleted, what are really good food sources? Because I always like to go back to, nutrition,
Yeah, absolutely.
right?
And you know what? Diabetes is a dietary issue. By the way. It's a dietary issue. So
Mhm.
you can get it through foods like pumpkin seed. I have pumpkin seed every day, just a handful. Avocados, almonds, pistachios, spinach, Swiss
Mhm.
chard, chocolate. But now I'm not talking about milk chocolate. I'm talking
No,
about dark chocolate, where you have 75%, 75% cacao,
right.
all cocoa, nothing else, right? And the thing is, it is bitter. Have you ever had it?
I have it actually every day.
Good for you. Yeah,
Yeah,
I find
a
it.
little bit.
Yeah, yeah. But here's the thing, spinach, and I'm just throwing this in because people really need to understand this. Spinach is very high in something called phytic acid. It's got a lot of it, okay? And what happens, this is also with chocolate and also with black beans, very high in phytic acid. Excuse me. And phytic acid, what it does is it binds to minerals. It binds, and so the body cannot get to the minerals, cannot absorb it, right? Because it's now bound. So and of course you can have spinach. All I'm saying is I know I have a friend that has so much spinach that eventually. So what happens also, one of the things that can happen is that um, it it can form kidney stones because it's also high in oxalate
Mm,
content. And
mhm.
oxalate is what it's oxalic acid in its natural form, and it forms if you have too much, it can form little crystals or stones
Right.
in the kidneys.
Yeah.
So you just watch how much you have, especially if you eat all these high foods with foods that have a high oxalic acid in it. Yeah.
Well, I think there's so much in the world to eat,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. We don't have
And
to just stick to a few, right?
right. We
Yeah.
don't have to have spinach. If I have spinach once a month, that's a lot, and I
Me
grow it.
too. I don't because I love arugula and all the others, and green
Right.
veggies are so good. So did I
And
tell you? Did I?
lots of herbs.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm. So, what I have to ask you, I've had people tell me that they don't want to have any seaweed because it has too much salt in it. Okay. But I also know that certain seaweeds have a lot of other types of land-based,
Yeah. Yeah.
trace minerals. So do you want to tell me a little bit about that?
Well, algae, that's where it is, right? So
Mhm.
yeah, it's very high in minerals, and a lot of people take it. And these days it's so easy. My grandkids, what do I give them? I buy them these little packages, where you can, and they love it. They have
Mhm.
a package almost every day for their lunch. So this is one way of getting it. Um, so if people don't have any other comorbidities, I would just suggest, yeah, this is one way of getting your minerals and the trace element, trace minerals, etc., from seaweed. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And what about supplementation? I mean, people love to pop pills, right? Doctor tells you take the aspirin, call me in the morning, right? So we just get carried away.
Yeah.
But what about this magnesium deficiency? Can you just
Yeah.
decide you're deficient and just take it?
Well, the thing is, here's the thing. I always promote that you get it from your food first. That's where we're supposed to. But we have to remember, because of soil depletion, we're not getting the amount of nutrients from our food like our great grandmothers and grandparents did, right?
Right.
So we have to somehow make up for it. And we do that through supplementation. And yes, I take it. And especially if you happen to be diabetic, you need it.
Mhm.
Otherwise, your health is going to get worse. So I don't know if we have time, but there are many different um, magnesium supplements on the market, and they all have different benefits. So you have need to choose ones that are going to help you with any kind of issue that you have, or even had two kinds. There are now some on the market that have a combination of a few together. But the main thing is to have some form of magnesium. Did you want me to go? Did we have time? I think we ran out of time, but
Yeah, we have run out of time. But I want you to talk about that you have busting the myths about diabetes, and maybe we can have you put something so we can share that information to the people that come to our event on what kind of supplements, how to pick that out. But I know that they certainly need to understand the myths around diabetes because it seems like there's a lot of them.
yes.
You wanna talk about that for a
Well,
minute?
I do have a gift, and I think Cindy, you've got it in
Yes,
there.
it is available, okay? Just go to, uh, where you are right now, and it will be showing. So,
Good,
take
wonderful.
advantage of the fact that Brenda put that in.
Thank you, Cindy. I
Mhm.
appreciate it. It was lovely talking to you.
Thank you very much.